Scientists have long warned about the effects of plastic pollution in the world's oceans. Now, a review of studies shows that despite awareness, the problem is getting worse. The Worldwide Fund for Nature warns that pollution will quadruple by 2050.
Ocean pollution. The concept itself certainly isn't what some of us think about as we're walking along the beach, enjoying the scenery. It's a prevalent issue that affects all of us, and yet becomes another one of those subjects that's just out of sight, out of mind. We have fun while being blissfully ignorant, and it makes sense, since at first glance it doesn't really seem like it hurts us. I mean, how much of an impact does one more plastic bottle floating around the Atlantic Ocean really have on society? Unfortunately, the damage isn't as minimal as many people would like to think, especially in South Florida. According to the Miami Herald, South Beach is one of the most polluted swimming spots in the US, so the question remains, how bad is it really? To get a better understanding of the severity of the situation, our team interviewed the director of the Biscayne Bay Foundation, a dedicated nonprofit organization.
The Atlantic Ocean, we have plenty of trash. Anything you put like on the storm drains, on the streets, on the roads, that ends up in the ocean. Because we have these drain gutters when it rains, and it takes all that stuff and puts it in there. So if we don't pick it up before it gets in the drain, it ends up in the bay. The problem is that the fish eat these little plastic, because the plastic bottles turn into these little plastic pieces, and they think it's like little food. So almost every fish out there in the ocean has plastic in it. So the problem is that we eat the fish, and now we're eating the plastic, and then it pollutes the water, and that's not good either, because then you can't swim in it, because you have there's too much high pollution in the water.
When we hear about a problem so drastic, we may think there's nothing we can do, that only professionals and people that really know what they're doing can help. But in this case, that cannot be further from the truth. We can all play our own part, whether it's big or small.
I think the best thing they could do is volunteer. I think once you volunteer, you get the feeling of what you're doing, and it gives you a really good feeling. Once you volunteer, you get involved. And once you get involved, then you start remembering, oh yeah, I picked up all this stuff. Maybe I shouldn't throw this stuff out. Because you can tell people, okay, don't throw stuff out. But that's not really going to do anything. Yeah. I think if you go and actually do it, it's kind of like school. You go to school, everybody says, oh, I could do the school, it's easy. Well, school's not easy and it's time consuming and it's hard. But once you do it and you finish it, you feel really motivated about it.
To get a better understanding of the experience of volunteering and the motivation that comes with it, we interviewed the longtime member of the Biscayne Bay Foundation, Danny Alvarez.
I joined the Biscayne Bay Foundation, and I've been going volunteering with them for a couple of times to do cleanups, mostly because I realized about the plastic problem on the oceans, and it really bothered me. And that's when I started thinking and looking for foundations, how to get involved, and my experience with them was great. We really connected very nicely, and they are very passionate about the issue. Motivation is pretty much just to clean up the oceans, because the plastic issue, single-use plastic, is such a big problem that people, I can't even fathom that people are buying this size bottles of water in which literally they take a sip and then they don't think about the consequence of that plastic wherever they throw it. Sadly, and I usually am very positive, but on this question, I would say that they're getting a little bit worse, and mainly because of the plastic situation, and the animals. You have whales that would swallow this plastic and they would die because of that. You have pelicans eating plastic, that they open them up on the stomach and it's full of plastic. So I would encourage you to get involved. Single-use plastic on the oceans is a big problem, and microplastic is an even bigger problem. So get involved.
At the end of the day, we have to remember that the ocean isn't just a place we go swimming. The beach isn't a place with nice restaurants and water activities. It's an ecosystem, and what we put into it is what we get out. It's important to remember to clean up after ourselves and watch over our fellow wildlife.